Welcome to the Collective Mindset Podcast. This is JT Hodges.
Are we doing with the...
I mean, we cannot. How do you guys feel? Let's just take them off. It's for the best.
We can hear good now.
Yeah.
We know we're dialed in.
We know we're dialed in on the voice. So this is episode number 5, I think. We don't really have to number them anymore. Episode number 5. But we wanted to talk a little bit, maybe mortgage related, the state of affairs in the world, in the market. I was camping this weekend, believe it or not, in the wilderness, doing man things, and chit-chatting with some gentlemen, and a guy in our neighborhood. So he, doctor, does really well. For whatever reason, tried to buy about a year ago. That didn't work out, and currently doesn't own a home, so he rents.
Yeah, a year ago the market was nuts.
Yeah.
Multiple offers. People were getting really discouraged. Oh, I'll just wait,
Yeah.
But a lot of people kind of quit.
His situation was a little crazy. It was like it's ended in litigation, I think. But essentially, he's been renting for the last year. But he posed the question, hey, should I buy or should I wait? Is now still a good time to buy, or should we continue to see if the market falls? Like, that was his question, right? I immediately chirped back, and I was just, if I didn't own a home, I would be buying a home right now. The second these interest rates fall, home prices are just it's gonna be a quick little inverse, right? Home prices are gonna pop back up. There's more buyers, there's more competition. If I didn't own a home, I would take advantage of this moment and go out there and negotiate a great deal, get the seller concessions I might need, but definitely would be out there looking for a home if I wanted right now.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that people might be overlooking. A lot of people are like, I pre-approved a number of people who are waiting for the crash to come.
Yeah.
And if you look at the inventory numbers, 6 months ago I would have been like, it could get interesting, but with the current inventory numbers, I just don't think there's going to be a crash coming, even with these higher interest rates. So the nice thing about the higher interest rates is it eliminates a lot of potential buyers. And so you're taking these buyers off the table. If you can still qualify and make the numbers work, you go out and you buy the house you want and you get a good deal on the house, you can always refinance that loan. Most people, I think, are under the impression or we believe that within 12 months these rates are going to be lower, if not substantially lower. Yeah. And you get to keep the home and get the home that you want, but now you refinance and your payment's much more affordable because rates are at 5.25% instead of pushing 7.
Yeah, 100%. What you just said there reminded me of something else we got into, which was if you were to look, if you've been looking at interest rate, like rate sheets with the different wholesale lenders, if you've been following that for the last 10 years, if you're in the mortgage world, they usually make sense. Right now, what we're looking at on these lenders' rate sheets, it doesn't make a lot of sense. A lot of times, there's not a rate on the rate sheet that doesn't cost something. Mm-hmm. And to me, that says these lenders know interest rates are coming down. They know that they can't just be giving people loans for no upfront cost, because these loans are going to pay off. They're going to be prime candidates for refinance in the next 12 to 24 months. And if they don't make their money now on the points, they're not making any money at all.
Well, that's why Fannie and Freddie, so a lot of people don't know this, but Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they came in and changed their rules regarding cash out refinances. Yeah. That there has to be 12 months from note date to note date. And so I think they're like, well, we better slow the tide, because if not, here, all these people who just bought houses or whatever are going to try to do a cash out refinance at month 7 and pay off early all of these loans that were just originated. So that's something that you guys need to keep in mind. Like, if you took out a loan, you got to wait 12 months before you can do a cash out refi. That's new. It used to not be that. Yeah. So it would be, I guess it was 6 months to use. And but there was no note date to note date requirement. It was just 6 months of ownership. Yeah. So now this note date thing's kind of pushing us back 12 months.
Yep. So you can kind of see just with the way these businesses are operating, they're what do they call it? When they're telegraphing, right? When you're telegraphing a pass or something in basketball, they're telegraphing what is to come. I think these people are probably a lot smarter than maybe I am.
Sometimes. Sorry.
No, just as far as what the rate sheet looks like, right? So they're daring people to buy down, right? There's sometimes on the rate sheet where it's like, oh, it costs you a point to get down to 599 or something like that. where from maybe 6.75 par, 1 point to go down 0.75% in rate is a great deal.
It used to be like 1 point would maybe get you 3/8.
Yeah, maybe 3/8. And then the opposite's also true. Like a lot of times we as a tool to help people with closing costs when the market was going crazy, hey, instead of taking this 2.75 rate, take the 3.25 and we'll pay you back 2 points, or we'll pay you back 1.5 points to help cover your closing costs.
Yeah.
That's not there anymore. There's a cap. And so like if you look at FHA pricing, par might be at 6.25 or 6.5 or something. And if you want to get a 1 point credit towards your closing costs, it's like not there.
Yeah.
You got to go to like 7.625 to give someone 1 point in credit. So when you're read between the lines there, these lenders know rates are coming down.
Yeah.
And they're trying to position themselves to not get wiped out when all these refinances come.
Exactly. Well, I think if my memory serves me correctly, the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac surveys that were done recently for 2024, they both of them projected that interest rates would be in the 5% range. Yeah. So now they greatly missed it. In 2022, they projected that rates would be as high as 4%. And we hit like 7 in 2022. So whoever, those people lost a lot of credibility.
Who are they polling?
I know. It's like, I'm not going to go there. But obviously, here we are, looking into 2024, and they're saying, hey, rates are going to be in the 5s, and we're currently right around 7%, I'd say.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty significant drop. And if you look at a $500,000 mortgage and you're dropping from, say, 7% down to 5.5%, memory serves me, that's like $700 a month, something like that.
Yep.
I mean, that's a pretty nice brand new car payment right there. So we think there's going to be payment relief in the future. So the idea, once again, to kind of recap what Gavin was saying, is like, don't let that stop you now. Like, now's the time to go out and like find the sneaky sweet deal on the house that you really wanted, right? You can always refinance it once you've secured the house. You can't, like, if the market completely drops and we're back down to the low 5s again, that same house you want, well, guess what? There's the 10 other people that also want that same house. Yeah. So that's the idea.
And it's going to happen fast.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people quite realize there is just a boatload of people ready to buy. There is massive demand. It's pent up. There's buyers out there. There's people that want homes that have not, or maybe couldn't, pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Because they can't find the house they want. The payment doesn't make sense right now. They don't have the closing costs, whatever it may be, but the market conditions have made it very difficult for those people. Right. The second that pressure is taken away, they are flooding into the buyer's pool, and they're going to be making competitive offers with you. So if you are able right now, get out there and find those homes and get a good real estate agent. We can help you find those if you need them. Get a good real estate agent and get out there and start digging. There's great deals to be had. Yeah. There's some amazing homes out there, and there are people that need to sell.
Yeah.
And if, when you're comparing that to, maybe a year or two ago, they had 10, 20, 30 buyers, they weren't worried.
Yeah.
When they only have 1 or 2 buyers on the table and they need to sell this month, they're worried, and they're willing to take contingencies. They're willing to give closing costs. They're willing to negotiate and play ball.
Yeah.
So
think about this, you guys. So, I've been lending for 23 years now, and it was crazy the last crash that happened and how long it took for people to get comfortable buying houses again. But a lot of that, from a credit standpoint, was like, oh, if someone had a foreclosure, they were waiting a minimum of 4 years, if not 7 years before they could buy. Okay, so think about it like the average person, they lost their home, it got foreclosed upon them. Maybe when a foreclosure finally happened was 2010. So fast forward 2017 when they could actually qualify again. And then there was just this surge of demand that came in, right? It caused this crazy run up in house prices, this crazy multiple offer scenario, because for the long time we did not have a normal housing market. And kind of the same thing happened in COVID. There was this pause, rates dropped, and all of a sudden after all the shock wore off, everybody went, holy cow, rates are 3%. I can qualify for so much house. Let's go. And there was this huge rush. Well, what's happened over the last 12 months is there's been all these people going, whoa, house prices are insane, and now rates are insane, so I'm going to push pause. So you've had a 12-month period of people pushing pause, over 12 months.
Yeah.
And And so that in a normal buyer's market, think about the thousands of transactions that should have normally happened that didn't. People didn't stop getting married. People didn't stop growing older, getting bigger families, wanting to move up, etc. So all of these transactions are now being pent up and creating a backlog. Think of it as like a dam holding back water. So the second those rates start to drop, we're going to have cracks in that dam. And as soon as those go down, you're going to see this flood of buyers that have been holding back because rates were just too high, flood the marketplace.
Yep.
So keep that in mind. The other little secret too, and maybe we can end on this, is just FHA loans. Like FHA loans were kind of the forgotten, for lack of a better term, like redheaded stepchild of the real estate thing, which is, no offense. I mean,
if you're a redhead, don't add us.
Yeah, don't. It's just the same. But the idea, you could get an FHA loan for, 5.5% maybe today, and the mortgage insurance premium is only 0.55, so it's typically cheaper than conventional loans. So for 3.5% down, you can finance 420.
Oh, it's like 500.
Oh, 500. Yeah, 500.
It's like 530 in Maricopa County.
Yeah, 530,000 in Maricopa County. I think in Utah it's like $600,000.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of house you can buy when the rates are actually not bad. And then consider the idea that in 9 months you can do an FHA streamline if rates are down where they're at. It's kind of a really smart play for 3.5% down.
If you're doing 3% down on a conventional loan, 5% down with the new LLPAs, unless you have a 780 credit score, 760 maybe, it's not pricing out better to go conventional.
No
You're
way.
better off going FHA. The
Way
rates are lower. The MI is low enough. It's just a great option. So unless you're buying a house, buying more house than FHA will allow you, we got to look at that option. And I know we're definitely putting a lot more buyers in that box. So
love it.
That's a great way to end. I think that's some great advice today. If you have any questions, reach out to us. Instagram's a great way to get a hold of us. We post our contact info below as well. But let us know what we can do to help, what questions we can answer. And
just don't let this current market scare you.
Yeah.
The interest rates are not pretty. We fully understand that. We're in the business. We see it every day. But the time, as far as you got to look at the advantages that you have in a market like this.
Yeah.
So I would highly suggest you consider being aggressive and going out there. But
time to at least start asking questions.
We can look at it in a zoomed out lens or a zoomed in lens, whatever you'd like to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for tuning in, you guys.
Thanks, guys. Catch you next time.